Hello, crew. Welcome to your 7 Minutes Piracy. We are back. We are going to talk about, we're going to do some more archery this week because we just couldn't get enough last week.
We love archery.
Actually, we had too much to talk about. So, last
And we
week
didn't want to overwhelm you on the first.
and we didn't want to overwhelm you with too much stuff. So, this weekend we're gonna talk a little bit about the history of archery and some arrow stuff. So archery's been around almost as long as people have been around. They found some arrow tips that they think were involved with archery going back 70,000 years, although some of the oldest recovered bows are only about 10,000 years old, but still that's going back a good long while.
So where did they find them? Or, I mean, is it specifically a geographical area, or have they been worldwide?
They're actually all over. A lot of different cultures had them. So one of the oldest archaeological finds, they found a cave that's in South Africa that they're dating about 70,000 years ago. And they found some different types of arrow tips in there. So arrows were the dominant weapon all the way up until the 1600s, actually almost up until the 1700s, until the invention of the muskets and the refinement of gunpowder, but they were still being used in battles, obviously, 1700s. We were reading about a battle from 1658 where they were talking, one of the scribes who was recording some of the elements of the battle said the archers were able to fire 6 arrows before the musketeers could get off their second shot. So it was still being sought out as a weapon because they could throw a lot more arrows down range before the musketeers could before the musketeers could fire back. So it was still a valuable weapon up to that point.
You can get more arrows off shooting a recurve bow than a compound bow. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah. Well, did our listeners know that? Probably
Did you know that?
not. And if you did, comment below. So the English Archery Society started up around the 16th century.
True.
Yes. And the first known or established American Archery Society was in the 1828 is when it really became a sport and recreation here.
Also true.
There you go. So there's a couple names for archers. There's archer.
I'm waiting for the third one.
And then there's bowman.
Bowman.
Which, I get that one. But this other one, I had to look it up myself because when Rob told me about it, I'm like, yeah, right. No, I don't think so. It's called toxopholite. And that is a term for a bowman. But what's the origination?
I think it's like Latin. I don't know.
I don't know.
Toxopholite.
Yeah, I prefer archer.
Okay.
It's easier, and I can spell it.
So there's two kinds of categories you can shoot in once you go to the archery range. Like us on league night, you have the option of where you want to shoot. When you shoot bare bow, it's just like it sounds. You have your bow with nothing else on it. It's just you, your skill. But you can also compete in the freestyle category, which is a lot of the compound bow shooters. And when you're competing in freestyle, you can have weights, you can have counterweights, you can have stabilizers, you can have sights, optics, magnification. You can have your torque flight compensator, which I just heard about tonight, and I think I need it. I don't even know what it does yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be my next investment because.
Well, maybe you could put that on your compound bow.
I just like the way it sounds. So anyway, I need my torque flight compensator. It's bound to help me shoot better.
What? Couldn't hurt.
Wow. You never see it coming from the people closest to you.
I'm sorry. I just remember the other night going out and practicing, boy. Whew.
That's why we practice.
That's right.
Tell me some archery building trivia, would you?
Okay, so this was super fascinating because it may be a feng shui thing. I don't know. But archery ranges are built north to south. And
supposed to be,
and supposed to shoot north. However, archery world, where we shoot to the south. So I'm not sure exactly
it is lined up. Well, it is lined up north-south, but
we shoot backwards.
And I would have never Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like we're suffering. Well, my shooting is suffering. I don't feel like other people are suffering.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I couldn't find anything of the significance of that. But
yeah, it's a thing, but it wouldn't tell us why it was a thing. So
that's really weird.
Yeah, that's really weird.
A couple different types of bows was the medieval short bow, and that shot about 100 yards. Then you got your long bows, which 300 yards. And they can shoot an arrow up to 175 feet per second. It's pretty darn fast. And it could shoot through armor. So, so that was pretty handy. Most bows were made out of either yew, elm, maple, cedar, or bamboo for the flexibility and strength.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about arrows.
Oh yes, please. Shall I be your...
Yeah, just don't stab me.
Which one are we doing first?
Let's do that one first.
Okay.
So on the arrows, obviously you get to choose your tips, but there's a lot of information about the fletching on the back of the arrows, and it's actually broken down into 3 different types. You can have straight fletching on the back, which is lined up perfectly in line.
Which is
with
like that.
That's not straight.
That's not straight?
No.
Oh, no, that does have a curve to it.
That's helical. So you can have straight fletching, which allows your arrows to move very fast. They can be affected a lot by windage. You don't get a true... the arrow doesn't have any spin, any rifling like a bullet, and so you kind of get a little bit of a wilder shot. The second one is called offset, where there's a little bit of turn to the fletching, gives the arrow a little bit of spin, takes some of the speed off, allows you to make longer shots, more accurate shots, but again, you lose a little bit of speed. And then obviously
this one.
And then the third one is helical. You can see that it kind of bends around the side. Again, allows you more accurate shots. It's a little bit slower, more wind resistance, but you get a truer shot because the spin on the arrow. The only trouble with the helical fletching is if you don't have the right kind of rest that your arrow sits on coming out of the bow, the fletching will bump your arrow rest and throw off your shot a little bit. And we've both found out that, when you're shooting, sometimes it just comes down to millimeters and, between a hit and a miss. And so any little bump can have a pretty big effect on your arrow.
Huge. This I didn't know, and I kind of learned this. So this is a recurve bow. Arrow.
That's an arrow.
It's an arrow. I don't know why I do that. And recurve has feathers. And the reason why is because when you line it up on your bow, it needs to be able to move past your bow because the bow doesn't give.
And you can see it just lays down like that.
Yeah. So when you shoot it, it goes right off. Now a compound bow has plastic fletching, and this is preferred for hunting and stuff because when you're out in the woods and it's raining, because usually you hunt in the wintertime or whatever, and it's raining and Oregon, but the feather fletchings will get wet and heavy and can affect your aim of the arrow, but the plastic will not get wet, so it's more durable and it's waterproof. So, but this you would use on a compound bow, and then this
here, hold that one
on
up.
A recurve.
But you can see if you've got this coming off your rest, the feathers will collapse right underneath that. Whereas with this one, there's no give to it, and so it'll bounce on that and throw off your arrow shot a little bit.
Why are they different colors?
Why are they different colors?
Why are they? Do you want me to tell? Or do you want to tell?
Sure, go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Steal my thunder.
There's 2 reasons why you. There's the main reason is so you know how to line up your arrow on your bow. You'll have the 2 light colors up against your bow, and those 2 are they're called veins, but these 2, the red ones, are called the hens. The hens, and they're flat against the riser. So, and
they're set up at like 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock below the arrow, so they make they're perpendicular.
So when you fire the arrow, shoot the arrow. I'm not going to hit you.
You're going to stab me before
this
video's over.
I will not.
I'm going to be wearing an eye patch next week.
But here's your riser, and it allows it to go just straight past it. And this white one, that's called the cock vein, and that's away from the riser. So that's how you know how to place your arrow. Did I say it wrong?
No. You should say it again, though.
Cock vein?
Yeah.
You're so silly.
Well, it makes sense. If you got two hens, you got to have a cock in the middle.
Right. So that's how you know how to place your arrow. But anyway, I didn't know the names of these until we really kind of got into this. And so there you go. And now you know.
And now you know. We covered a lot of stuff. If there's something we missed, there's something you want covered, go ahead and leave us a comment or a suggestion down below, and we can circle back around to it.
Circle back.
Circle back around.
So remember, if you're watching us and you like us, hit the like button. If you want to share your videos and go, hey, you got to see these two people, they're nuts. Share the video and comment. Always comment. We love that.
We love comments. Hey, until next week, fair winds, my friends.
Bye-bye.